it's true. Good times, sunshine, gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies, push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground, turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, up, up. You'll be okay. Beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes. You'll see it's true. A beautiful day.
Welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Tuesday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It's Tuesday the 12th of September. It's hard to believe we were already there. But hope everybody had a great weekend. Don't forget to give the thumbs up, shares, likes, all that good stuff. You know, thank everybody for dropping in if you're watching us live or watching us later. You can give the shares and likes and all that stuff later too. You don't have to be here live to get those. So. And you can find us on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So you can subscribe and follow us on all those to get updates when we're going live. But we go live every Tuesday, Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Central Time right now. That's what we're going to go with. So right now it's working pretty good. As you can see, we're working on the Griffin Head Inlay here. Let me grab the paper. This is what we're going for. And try to get it in view here without covering up too much. But coming out pretty good. We don't have too much left here. We're showing this at the beginning here so I can edit it out for a time lapse. We're roughly around 75, almost 80 hours, I think, right in there. So we're about coming up on the end. We're on line, let me see, 102 out of 115. So we got 14 lines left to do, a little under since we got this going. But we're going to go ahead and kind of get going here, I think. So we don't have to worry about cutting out too much. But, like I said, it's come along, got a pretty good amount done this weekend. Still a normal, crazy weekend, like every weekend it seems like, but let's go ahead and get started. But I hope everybody else had a good weekend. I mean, it wasn't a bad weekend, just always busy doing something, this or that, you know, never ending. But, other than that, we're just trying to get prepared. Like I said, we're going to have a busy month here at the end of the month, into the next month, into October. So we will finish this up on this weekend. We'll have some more done by Thursday when we come back, but I'm hoping by Friday I'll have it done, if not Saturday. That is including the hanger portion. I didn't put any of the hanger rings in yet. I was wanting to, but I was like, I'm just going to continue working and just get her done, so, and figure that out, because I still don't know if I want to strap it, if I'm going to ring it, if I'm going to, still debating. Thought about doing it a different way that I haven't ever tried yet. Kind of half tempted to try it, but I figure I'll get it done first, then I'll go from there. Figure out, well, I need to get a weight on it too, so I can make sure I get a good enough heavy rod that's going to hold it well enough, and something that's going to last over time too. So, but I've been pretty happy with it so far. It's coming out pretty good. I've had a few little issues, but for the most part, I didn't open it up far enough. Still a little concerned about a droop once we get it fully hanging within my frost area, because the frost has got a little looseness compared to all the other rings. But we're going to hope and see what happens. I am going to leave my glasses on for doing this stream, which will slow me down a little bit, but I want to make sure I can see stuff. I've gotten very used to taking my glasses off doing streaming or doing chainmail anymore. A lot easier on the eyes whenever I decide to take my break or whatever, you know, to readjust. But like I said, 14 more lines and we'll be done here. Then I'll decide, hopefully, if I'm going to donate it to the school or not, and then if they even want it. Like I said, I have no idea. If not, I don't have no problem with it. I'll keep it in my collection. But if they would like to show it off, I'll be happy to have it there and have some chainmail out there. And so by next Tuesday, we will be working on something else. I haven't decided if I'm going to do Tuesdays or Thursdays. Will be kind of my inlay day, because I will be getting into the Kelsey jersey next. And we'll have that on one day. And then the other day of the week, we'll do something. Probably smaller projects, this or that. The next couple weeks might be a little bit of flux because of getting ready for the events coming up. I'll be done with this weekend, which will help, but I will have a few, we got chainmail events, but also I have some band stuff, some school stuff that I plan on doing, so we'll have a little bit of busyness there for a while. Excuse me. But after mid-October, things maybe die down. No, it won't. I say that every time, but still thinking about actually trying to get into another November event. There's a couple actually that I wanted to get into, but I've got too much going on the first couple weeks of October. There's a lot of festivals here at the beginning of October. It's still nice out, decent enough, so there's one I wanted to get into, and now it's indoors, so it's kind of nice in a way. You don't have to worry about weather. Still early, but they do have some in the later on, but one of them conflicts with my one of Tonka Craft Fair. I definitely want to hit that one. But I need to start posting some of the fairs coming up. We should be in Gladfest. I sent in my thing a while back. I guess I probably need to email them and make sure, but I have gotten no confirmations yet on that. I'm a little concerned. It's a bad one in a way, but only because of how it got run last year. I thought it would be more efficient, and I'm a little concerned, but hopefully it works out alright. Still need to contact Oak Park. I keep putting it off because it's so hard to get their info. But hopefully we'll end out the year pretty good. I do want to thank everybody that has gotten kits and tutorials and all that from us here recently. We've had a kind of a little run, and I do appreciate it. If y'all want to give reviews, come back and show some pictures too. I love to see people make up, what kind of designs they come up with to go with either the chain-ins or the wormhole cube. I know the chain-ins are kind of old. A lot of people have done them in all kinds of different flavors. I actually need to make up a few myself. I've only got like 2 or 3 left. So I need to make up some myself. I don't know if I'll get to them before Gladfest or not. This is, like I said, this project was supposed to be, when I originally planned it, I wanted a 45, 50 hour project. And that's what I calculated when I did my ring calculations, but I did my calculations for the wrong size ring, and didn't notice it till I actually started putting together, and by then it was too late. I had all my rings ordered, I had everything in, I was starting to build it, and it was within the first hour and a half. I was like, what's wrong with this picture? I started looking at my notes and everything I'd done when I did it, and then I realized where I screwed up in my calculations and went, oops. So I was like, it'd be tight to fit and get it done in a way. I mean, I'm going to be done a month early. Definitely getting more done than I needed. 1.8, 1.78 or something like that rows per day, and it'll definitely beat that by quite a bit. I'm normally getting in minimum of 3 rows a day. We'll figure it up once we get to the end here, and I'll put the stats and everything in when I do the time lapse. I've got 70 hours of time lapse done. The first 2 sessions of what needs to be done with them are done. I've got, I think, 3 more hours to get to the 80, if I remember right. So I think I could be off by a factor of 10 or a factor of 1 folder, which would make it 10 more hours. I don't know if I'm on folder 7 or folder 8 right now, because I've been breaking them into 10-hour folders. And I'm not sure which one I'm exactly on. It's just when I complete one, I go through the process and get them pre-done. Because I have to, first 10 hours comes, I do it by 1,000% speed, time lapse, and that takes me down to about an hour. So first 10 hours come down to an hour, then I run it again, and it takes me down to about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes or so. And then I'll start combining multiples together and bringing them down. So it's a little process, but hopefully it'll come out pretty good. I think the best, whenever I've done them, and I like about a 5-minute one, but that's too long for online anymore. Most people won't watch for that long, so but I can't take it down too much past 2.5, because then you're running, it's just so fast you don't really see much. You don't really anyway at the other speeds, but when if it wasn't so many hours to do it, it'd be different too. If I only had 50 hours, even less. Most of my time lapse are 3 or 4 hours, bring it down into 2-3 minutes whenever it was putting drone stuff and band stuff that I've done. I haven't done a time lapse band, well, since I haven't done any real band stuff lately, but I did find out I'm going to have to contact a different school for contests this next spring and see if I can do video like I have been at the others. If not, I'll still just go get my normals. But last year I kind of had a fun time getting all the bands. It was, just being able to see them all was fun. But next Tuesday I'll get to see all the 4 high school marching bands here in the district, so that's always a good event. I like having that event to go to. And tonight, today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, I had to think about that. I'm running up to the school tonight. But I won't be sticking around to see anything, and won't be videotaping anything. Just stopping by in real quick. I need to get a chat with the director, drop off a couple things. So I haven't seen the band at all this year, other than what other parents have posted. So it's been again a different year. But I've kept myself busy. Always something to do, though. I mean, stopping doing it kind of sucked, and I do definitely miss it, but it's gotten me to get other things done and things that I had put off, so there's pluses and minuses to it. The biggest minus is now it would be hard to do with the wife's health issues, but I'd rather not have that. Wish she could be healthy. And not all the band stuff. We put off a ton of years of our anniversary years in just a couple weeks. 23rd of this month. And for years we normally put off our anniversary to do anything on our anniversary, because especially, if it was during the beginning of the week and stuff, you really don't want to do anything, so you want to do it on the weekend, before or after. But we've always had band stuff going on. There are a few times here and there we've had it, we could do a little something, but nothing major, and so we normally put off if we do anything at all. And last year was the first year I didn't put it off. We actually, it was though it did suck in a way, our anniversary actually fell on a Friday night, so that was kind of cool. So I actually wanted to go out and do something. It was also homecoming of last year, so I wasn't able to make it to homecoming. So that kind of sucked, but I was glad that we got to go out last year, because I don't think we can really go do too much this year, but we got other things going on, so it kind of makes up for it in a way. I guess it's another year of putting off our anniversary for school stuff. But, let me check around here. How we going? 15 minutes in. No red lights anywhere. Looks like the streams are going good. Hopefully we got audio without a problem like we had last week. Though I did remember to turn up my doohickeys this time. Come on, get off there. What is that one? Is it supposed to be that one? Actually, I guess it's maybe supposed to be a little bit more. Just me and my brain again. Me and my brain playing tricks on me. Tricks on me. But yeah, I don't know how much more I'll get done on this today. I've gotten in about an hour before the stream today. Normally by the time I get done cutting and everything, we get about 45 minutes of actual chainmail time in on the stream day here. So I know I'll get in a little bit later, but I do need to get some things taken care of here once we get done with the stream. And then going out tonight, a little bit busy there, but we'll get some more done. But tomorrow, hopefully, I don't have anything majorly planned for tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get me in a good amount of lines. And then we'll come back on Thursday and hopefully be within 5-6 lines to go at the end. I haven't really calculated how many, but we're at 14. We have 13 once we're done with this line. If I can get 12 later tonight, 4 tomorrow, give us 8. But hopefully I can get more. If I can get 4 hours in, and probably get 5 lines done. Because each line takes about anywhere from 48 to 58 minutes, depending on which way I'm going. And if there's any rings that give me any issues sometimes. The gold here, like I'm doing these two here, the gold rings take me longer. They're the smallest AR out of all these and give me the most issues because it's such a tight weave. It just, golds here. And ending in the gold, it's going to slow me way down once I get more of these feathers out of the way. I'll be having a lot of that down here at the bottom, so it'll take me a little bit longer, I think, once I start getting down to those. Hopefully they'll be okay. We'll have to see. This part has taken a little bit longer the more I get to it. It doesn't necessarily tighten up anymore, but it's sometimes I gotta maneuver the rings through just a little bit differently to get them through. You know, normally the black, or you know, red is the next tightest, black is the next, then the frost is just loosish per se. So we'll see how it goes, but that's what I'm hoping is going to tighten it. I'm hoping the gold will come in slow enough where it'll tighten up enough where it won't make the frost droop once it's hanging. But again, that's going to be the ultimate. I've held it up by hand without having anything, but it's hard to hold it up evenly. Now granted, this doesn't move a lot at the top because it is so sturdy. It wants to kind of give you a droop, and it seems to look okay. But again, I don't have the bottom onto it yet, and that will change things once this pulls in, get it tighter. How is it going to rest with so much frost? A little bit of frost I think would have been fine. We have such a big amount of frost, it's going to change some of the calculations and dimensions here. So we're going to hope for the best anyway. Frost. But yeah, we'll finish this line off for sure during the stream. We should. I mean, we were a little bit into it. I was going to do another little session before the stream and get more done, but I was like, oh, that'll put us at the turnaround, and we still might get to turn around and be working it back the other way. That's always the harder side to do because I have to flip the whole unit upside down. And I was hoping, well, if we can keep it in the stream, the yellow will slow us down here at the end of this line, so right now we got good timing going, but once we hit that yellow, slow down a bit. But if we are at the end still facing the same direction, I'll pull out the picture again. If not, and you want to see what we're going for, the original design, you can go back to the beginning of this video. I showed it at the beginning. I'm trying not to do it during the stream and the video so that I don't have to edit it out and later. I know I was being a little lazy on my part, but I already got enough. Like I said, this is probably going to run us close to 90 hours by the time we're done. Definitely more, but I mean, I was off. I should have calculated it by adding about 4 seconds to, because on this size ring, when I do these, I normally average about 17 to 21 seconds per ring. I calculated it off the 1/4-inch rings, which I normally can do in 12 to 14 seconds. So at the most 14, at the least over here 17, 3 to 4 seconds difference. Not a big thing when you're doing a bracelet. A little bit bigger when you times that by 17,000 rings. So yeah, but we're getting it done in time. So, well, really no time limit. It's just I'm putting my own time limit on. I want to have it done by homecoming in case they want it. If they want to do anything with it, I don't care. I'd honestly, if they want to do anything and show it off, I'd be like, can you not mention me? Like everything I've done for the band and stuff. I just want to be there to help. I didn't want to get no accolades. I just want to, one guy that does video, takes our pictures. Who is it? That's good. That's how I wanted to be kind of known. To a degree, by most, I will say. There's a few people that kind of was like, really? There's some that did not know who I was after 5 years. And at every event, it was nice in a way, because, like I said, that's how I kind of wanted it to be, but for the majority of people, they're the ones that mistook me for somebody else, or ones that I figured would know who I was. At least should have known, but, you know, it is what it is. It's kind of funny looking back at it now. It's a little disheartening when you get asked something and you're like, okay, really? I was a little more confused by that one, but, you know, it was all good. And Tuesday when we come back, we'll be going back with having 2 cameras again. 2, I mean 3 if we need, but I do have a new ugly old face camera come in. I haven't tried yet. I need to get it going this weekend actually to test it. It'll give me some more options per se. It's supposed to be able to follow me a bit. I don't move too much, but kind of wondering how that will work. But it has some more other options too, so. Really? Oh, okay, it's gonna be there. I was like, that seems like a wrong ring count. But like everything, this whole project, I've doubted myself. I don't know, probably a dozen times so far, going, man, that just does not look right. And I'll spend a few extra minutes looking through my chart, looking through the picture, going, okay, that's what it says, but it looks so weird. And like every time, it ends up working out just fine if I just wait and believe the ring count that I trusted to begin with, you know. Majority of the time, that's the best thing I should do, is just, as long as I got the right count, everything will be fine. Biggest problem was, I've actually only had 2 screw-ups on this so far, where I had to back up a little bit, and I think each time it took me I think there was a 15 rings. The biggest one was 15 rings I had to move. So that wasn't too bad. The other one was about 8. So normally I'm catching him pretty early. Now granted, those other times I stopped to double check because I thought something was off. Now granted, nothing was off, but if they would have been off, I would have caught it, you know. I guess there was one time I did double check and I did catch myself before doing it. I put in a stopper ring in the wrong spot and I didn't get nowhere near the stopper ring yet, but I was like, man, that's looking awful weird the closer I kept getting to it. And so I did a ring count and realized where I was off, and so I moved it basically. It was a 1 ring fix, if you even want to call it a fix. Let's check around here, make sure everything's going good. Don't see any comments anywhere. But that's all of them right. Like I said, you know, you guys don't need to comment if you just want to drop in and see what's going on. If you do want to comment, that's great too. And you can comment later on. If you're watching it later, I get notifications that there was comments. I'll come check those out and answer if there's a question, or if it, you know, it's just a comment. I can't really, I guess I could say thank you. I don't know. I don't know what the comment was, but you can still do those. While we're watching, I'll go back and check them out. And if you got any other question about any other thing related to chainmail, for the most part, I mean, you can come in here and ask, is anything related to a different weave we're not working on or whatever, you know. I'm willing to help. I've got several people that have I've helped out through the years that just contact me going, hey, seen this, seen that, and went from there. So, like 11, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 11. About ready to finish up this feather. That one's that one. Oh, it's the nasty call. It always screeches and welches, man. I hate this call. They call all the time. Oh, go away. Okay. It hung up. I normally hang up on it quicker than that. Oh, it drives me nuts. I don't know what it is. We get it probably 3 times a week to the house phone. Just screaming and welching like it's a fax or something. I'm not sure. It could be. I don't know what it is. And what the sad thing is, it's not from the same number, so it's a junk call, I think. I often wonder if it's like some type of screeching, welching to take over a phone in my conspiracy brain. Yeah, I blocked the number before, but they still... It's like my cell phone, man. I got this one group of people. They've called literally from like 200 different numbers so far in the last 6 months. I keep blocking them. They just call with a different number. The same 47, 49 second message. This is Jill from blah 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 doing this and that. And it's like, you guys have nothing I want to do. Would you just stop calling me? Junk calls drive me nuts. One thing for getting junk emails does drive me nuts too, but junk calls, we're on all the no call crap, but it doesn't stop squat. They just continue to call and leave their stupid messages like I'm ever gonna give you money. Or the one we get a lot on the house one, how does it go? They always call, they're calling, and then it goes into, in the message, it's like you answered, but they're acting like you called them, wanting to know which department you wanted. What was that all about? No, I screwed that ring up, but it still feels tight-ish. I don't know, that was weird. Thought maybe it kind of broke. I mean, I've had some snap when you do that, but I mean, still felt good afterwards. That was just weird. Had a good bite on it. But yeah, the press one for this and that, and I'm like, oh, I just hate junk calls. I wish there was some way of when you get them, there was some way of, well, and you know, 95% of them come from spoofed spoofed numbers. If you ever call any of the numbers back that they call you on, you're just getting people's normal house phones. And I know it happens with our house phone too, because I've had people call our phone number going, yeah, I got a call from you all from this number for this and that. And I'm like, no, they're spoofing us because we didn't call. This is a home phone. You know, I do have a business out of my house, but I only use my cell phone for the business, so I don't use the house phone for it. That's the thing about that. The only thing I use the cell phone for is the business. I've never used that number for anything, bills, any online stuff, everything like that. I'll use the house phone. So the only way they got that number is by searching databases for the business, and which is, you know, I know it's going to happen. It's just like the spam I get in the business emails from all this and that. Drive you nuts. And you got the spam blockers, but they don't block everything. They always change up how they're doing it. So every day I normally, you know, if I have 50 emails, 40 of them are going to be spam. 10 will be legit that I need to deal with, but getting through some of them sometimes is a pain. We are a little past our halfway point, so again, I'm going to do my halfway spiel, and I want to thank you all again for joining us, if you're watching us live, or if you're watching us later. I don't know, I know we've had a few people drop in and out here, between Facebook and YouTube at least. I'm not sure about the Twitch side of things today, but I do thank you all for dropping in when you do. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to give thumbs up, the likes, the shares, all that good stuff, no matter what platform you're on. Let people know we're out here plugging along. And then a bunch of gold. Gotta get this over. And this is where I'll get some slowdown because it just takes longer. I can't maneuver it through with my pliers because it needs to have this little, it's a little weird little, a slide per se when it comes to getting that other ring, and I can do it with my thumb. It's a quick, easy, just slide. But with the pliers, I can't get in the right place unless I readjust the pliers where I'm grabbing it. But to do that takes longer than just letting go and just doing it with my thumb. Like I said, sometimes I can, but most of the time I gotta let go and just give it a quick slide and it pops up through. But it's just so tight. I don't, part of it too is I don't want to force it, and if I use the pliers, I'm more apt to force. I'm afraid I'm going to scratch up rings by trying to push it through where it's sitting. And then I've noticed sometimes it'll work, like right there. One, there, because I was going also through a black ring. But two, if they lay just right, you can see how, I don't know if you can on the camera, but these are all laying the same direction, but sometimes they're a little further apart than others, depending on just how they're kind of laying randomly. So sometimes they'll work out where they'll flop over each other decent enough where I can grab it without a problem, but other times they're just too far apart, so I have to thumb it. So most time I just thumb them anyway, get it started real quick, do the first ring, and then go in with the second ring. And unless I can see real quick, like right there, I could tell it wasn't going to work unless I wiggle, so it's just easier to let go. And other times I can see it pop up through there where it's like either going to go right through without a problem, or I can tell that there's just enough room if I give it a quick wiggle that might work. So, you know, and most of the time I end up pushing up. When I'm going through the first ring, I'll push up the second ring I need to go through, and that's where the problem arises. When as soon as it hits that ring and pushes it up, there's just not enough room anymore. If it goes through and I don't end up pushing that ring up and out, then I have no problem grabbing it to get through. But see how, well, you can't see on the camera. I'd have to have a close-up camera to get it, because you'll just see how it kind of just, we're talking just, you know, half a millimeter or so, just tweaking that second ring we're going through, and it changes the whole dynamic. of trying to grab it. Because when I pull up to grab this first ring, it pushes that ring up. Most time, it won't fall back down in place because you have that other one there. And then sometimes like this, it gets a little more stubborn. I have to use a more wiggle worm. Come on. Oh, there it goes. That one was probably a little bit on me. I didn't quite open it as far as I had the others, but hopefully we'll get through these. We had 47 of these, so about a third of the line right here, and into gold, Like so, these are gold is the tightest for sure. You can see a little bit up there of the movement, but there's like a little bit side to side, but like zero up and down practically. I was worried there for a while that it was going to get too tight because it was just going to get slow. But it started out pretty tight and just kind of stayed pretty consistent. So I had used the gold before, but it was, when I did the W, majority of the W was black. And the gold was more of an outline, so I didn't use much gold in it. It was black, red was second, and then gold. I didn't use any frosting in that. Man, I got hiccups. I hate those hard hiccups that just hit hard. Is it my fault again? Oh, yeah. Oh, there's no way I would have worked that one through. Nowhere near open fur enough. I could have played for 20 minutes and then realized, open it up. Just trying not to open these up as far as I can when I'm working this way with these, because I'm opening them backwards and I want to put a stress on the back side. So I'm trying to do it just enough to get through. And then I could go further, and it probably would let me go through without having to do the thumb slide I'm doing. But if I do it that way, I end up getting a stress point on the back side of my ring, and I don't want to have that. So I don't have it when I'm working the other way because I'll open the rings the other direction because of the way I'm working. So it's not a big thing there on going that way. And I try to figure out a different way of doing it because it's like, man, I'm going to have a lot of gold that I'm going to have to open backwards at one point. And I tried to play around and work it differently. The only way it would work is if I had a bigger table and I wasn't worried about streaming and getting video of it, because I would have it in a different direction. It'd be more in my lap. There'd be a lot of different things that would make it easier to do per se, but then I'd get no good video of it. So I think this is about the best way I can deal with it, with trying to do everything I'm trying to do with it. So, and like I said, the gold I was not expecting to be this tight. I knew how the black and the red kind of worked together, which I don't mind. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind it, but yeah, I didn't open far enough again, did I? That one's a little iffy. It probably could have worked through, but it would have taken a little bit longer. I will say we had a little bit of rain yesterday and cloudy all day, but it was nice and cool. I don't think we ever broke 70. It was like, oh man, it was so nice. But when everything was all wet, could have maybe did some things out, but well, and I do have to say I have been for the past, was it 6 days now, I've had this praying mantis around. Found him one day, 6 days ago, out on our little garage tent, portable shed thing. And he was right next to the zipper part of it. And for one day, the next day, he had moved onto the inside and up. The third day, he was up at the very top, at the crest, up on the bars, wiggling around up at the very top. And then day 4, I didn't see him anywhere. I went out there looking, and I was like, I wonder where he went. And then yesterday, I was sitting inside. I'd done a chainmail session. I got over, actually was kind of working on some video too, because I got my whatever folder, 7 or hour 8 or 80 or hour 70 folder. Was working on some videos, and I stood up to stretch, and I stretched, and next thing I know, about 3.5 feet in front of me on the top shelf, I have my little tins, and I have my Evil Changing kits that are pre-made, ready to go, sitting up there. And standing on top of it was the praying mantis, wiggling his head at me like, "Hey, how you doing?" And this was yesterday about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know how he got in, where he came in. And he's the same one, because he's a very odd looking one. He's like very dark colored, camouflaged body with super, super bright green legs. He's just a very weird looking one. And so I know it's the same one, plus I'm taking pictures of him every day, practically. And so I ended up yesterday, took him outside. It was raining though, so I put him back in the garage shed area, and he hung out there all night till late last night. I went out and was looking for him, and he'd taken off, wasn't in there anymore, and I didn't know where he was. This morning I woke up and went outside, and I don't know what time was it, about 6:30, and noticed him on top of the outside of the garage shed. So I'm not sure how he got out. I mean, it wasn't zippered up, but he got out and was sitting on the very top pole outside. But it was cold, so he was kind of all tuckered down. He was like, I mean, it looked like he was kind of sleeping. He was just kind of all kind of not curled up, but not, standing, doing a normal thing. And because we got down to about 57 last night, and so when I got up, it was about 57 when I got up this morning. And I was like, well, I'm not sure. And then the sun started slowly coming up, and at the point of where he was and where the sun comes up, we got a tree. So you get filtered sun. You kind of get little spots where it kind of pokes through a leaf here and there, and it moves along pretty quickly. And so it started about 7:30. He started getting some sunspots and warming up. So every time he'd hit a sunspot, I'd go out there and see him. If he was in a sunspot, he'd be kind of standing up, looking around. If it happened to be a shady spot at that time when I went out there, he was more just kind of hanging out, sitting there, shaded. And then as the morning warmed up, it was probably, I don't know, last time I seen him was probably about 10:30. I went back out again. It was probably 11:15ish or so to see where he was. And he was gone. I'm not sure where he went, but kind of wondering if I'll end up running back into him, because I always end up catching him when I'm close by and he tweaks his little head. The little movement of his head just always seems to catches my eye. That's what caught my eye the first time out in this outside. As I walked in, and he just turned his head and followed me, and just caught it out of the corner of my eye. I thought it was a spider. Same thing happened in here when he was up on the top of that shelf. When I stretched, I seen it. It wasn't in focus, so I just seen this thing move, and I thought it was a spider on the ceiling, like a foot and a half behind him, until I focused out of my stretch and realized it was him, and his head tweaking to follow me. I love how they move their little heads around and follow you around. I know they're not the best things out there, but no things are. I guess they're dangerous to hummingbirds and some other things, but, everything's going to have their prey and not, it seems like. So, though I did think about, can you home raise a praying mantis? I don't know exactly everything they eat. Could you put them in a cage, and would they survive well in a cage? I don't have anything for having one right now, but it kind of made me wonder, because he kept hanging out, especially when I found him inside just staring at me. And where he was, he would have seen me either at my desk working on the computer. He would have been able to easily, at the same spot without moving, well, and with the way his head moves easily, he could see me here working on the chainmail, or he could see me over working on the laser. So, which, that's the other thing I got to go tonight too, is I got a little bit of laser work to do tonight. So that'll put a little dent in getting any more chainmail done with everything else that's going on tonight, but it's all on fiber laser, so it should be fairly quickish. A lot quicker to use the fiber laser than the CO2 laser. just for setup, clean up, tear down. Everything's just easier on the fiber. Quicker anyway. I wouldn't say easier. So that's all fiber work that I'm going to do tonight. So it should be quick and easy enough that I can hopefully get another line in. But we will see. We will see. Like I said, though, we will finish up. We'll probably have a couple, at least this one, maybe that one, of the feathers done Thursday. But I will finish it up this weekend, and we'll have pictures probably posted before next Tuesday. But next Tuesday, when we're back with the ugly old face cam and we got the other cameras going, we'll probably show it off a little bit then too. And hopefully by then I've made my decision and send off an email seeing if the school might want it or not. I don't know if I'll know by Tuesday, but I'm sure there's a process of all kinds of stuff you have to go through when it comes to school stuff. It's a little crazy. I get it, but it's still crazy in my brain. And if not, like I said, I'll be using it to take with me and show at shows. Would be something I'd sell, and I do have a spot in the house that I could possibly hang it. So I don't know. We'll have to see about that. I don't have any. I know the daughter has her. She's got a music inlay I did. She's got hers hanging in her room. Son's got the Punisher one that I did, and he's got that hanging in his room. And I've made all these others, but none of them are necessarily for me, other than the Mahomes jersey. But in all reality, if somebody was willing to buy it, I'm willing to sell it. I wasn't at first. Now, I will put a caveat on that. That could change if I ever get to a signing of Mahomes, and I can take the jersey with me. I want to get a signature that I can then do in chainmail and add to the jersey. That might change things, because if I got a meeting with it, that'd be the ultimate thing. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I'd love to be able to, I've been to several Chiefs autograph signings, but never big ones like a Mahomes. That gets crazy. They're limited. Some of them are even, ticketed. So it'd be harder to get into one to begin with. So I don't know if I'd ever be able to or not, but if so, then that jersey maybe not will ever leave me. Because that'd be the ultimate, be able to do that on there. And then I'm doing the Kelsey one, and it's kind of for me too. These were Super Bowl wins. I didn't have anything on the jerseys about being Super Bowl, but I made them because of winning the Super Bowl. That's how Mahomes came about. His was red because that's the uniform we wore. Kelsey's, since this last win, this last year, Super Bowl, they were in white, so I'm making it in frost and a white. So, to go with that, and again, I'd like to eventually get his signature too on that one, but it's not done, so it's not something I've thought about a lot, and he would be another hard one to get. Through the years, I've probably gone and gotten 40, 50 autographs from people, but normally there's a smaller events where they're starters, but not, superstars per se. Well, and then I went to a few and got some ones that I'd rather not even say because they turned out to be duds, and back in the 90s where we had a bunch of screw-ups too and doing stupid stuff. Yeah, I got me a Tamarick Vanover signature. Yay. I guess it could have been worse, but I've got a Kimball Anders. There's a few that were pretty decent, but getting to some of the star ones, they're fewer and more limited than some of the others that I've been able to get to. And then I've had some that I never actually got any. We used to have Chiefs player, Reggie Tongue, defense. Actually used to race RC cars with him when he was on the Chiefs. He'd come out during the summer and do some RC racing. He was friends with the owner of the place, so he'd come out racing. That was different. It was kind of weird to talk to him. I had a hard time at first saying anything to him because yeah, I'm watching you on TV, I'm a fan, and here you are racing cars with me, and we're just BSing about, you know, RC cars. It was a weird experience. Now, I think it was probably only what, probably about 10, 12 times in total. He did a lot more gas outdoor, and I didn't do a lot of the gas outdoor stuff, so. But there was times where when it was too cold out and stuff, and different parts of the time of the year, he'd come to the indoor electric, so. It was cool, but I never did ask for an autograph. It felt too weird to ask for one there. I don't know if anybody ever did. I would kind of wish I would have in a way, but it just, you know, we're just racers at that point, so it didn't necessarily, you know, think about it. I'm trying to think of all of them that I got. I have to pull out my old. Now, the last ones I'd gotten, last time I went and waited in line for signatures was. Well, I will have to say more than 20 years ago, before we bought our house. I haven't been to any autographs, signatures, events since we bought our house. Several times I wanted to go. There are many that I would have liked him to get, but some of them were, again, they were so limited. Some of them were too far away. I mean, per se. With everything else I had going on, you know, that's part of it too. You know, you guys got to work into the scheduling. But one day, hopefully, I'd love to be able to get a Kelsey. I'd love to be able to get him a Holmes. And I think one day I found a few pictures. I'm going to be making me a Derek Thomas inlay at some point. No idea when, but I was thinking about that several weeks ago. Going, man, I want to do one that is kind of led that. The other one I'd like to do is probably Lynn Dawson. Now that one, I didn't ever get. I've seen him play in old videos, but I wasn't around when he played. He played before I was born, so I wasn't there live to see it. But I've watched video. I've seen his stats, you know, and all that. 'Cause I'm a Chiefs fan, so. Plus, he was on our local news here forever. He was a newscaster since I grew up. It's like he's a football player. Lenny Dawson done the news. So I thought about that too. But again, I have so many that I want to do. I know I'll never be able to complete all of them. I probably already have enough design and kind of ready to go. What is your problem? I didn't open you up far enough, did I? To probably have enough inlays to basically last the rest of my life, because they take so long. But you know, that thing, I'll say that, but I'll end up doing more than, you know. This is one that I've kind of wanted to do for the past 8-10 years. I had 3 that were school related, and I think I locked up again, so I'm missing any messages. Where are we at time-wise? 53. Figures, too. Now, let me get in these last couple for this line, then we'll probably go ahead and call it quits. I'll give me a few extra minutes. We'll show the picture again. I'll refresh this, see if I missed any comments here, because, yeah, I'm at 0 feed, and it's locked up with me working on several rings back. And I didn't open this one up far enough either, dang it. So, there. Now we're at the end of the row again. Now that there's a little more movement, it's easier to get it to fit through by just using pliers. So. Last couple are normally easier. Well, if I open it up far enough again. Well, that one wasn't, because I'm an idiot. But we'll get this last ring in here, and we'll go ahead and start doing our ending spiel. I'll move this into the middle, get the picture out, get a little time here at the end too. So hopefully my head didn't get in the way. I'm at a kind of a weird angle with having my glasses on this time. So I've kind of gotten so used to not having them on anymore, especially after the last several days. But there's where we're at right now. Like I said, let me try to give it a somewhat of an even stretch, and that'll hopefully be what it will be more like when it's hanging. It's going to be hard to tell till you actually do get it hanging, but let me refresh this so I can see if it's working properly. Okay, while that's working, let me get this picture out. Where can I put it? Well, I'm going to put it right up there. Can you see it all? I think it'll be all viewable. But, like I said, we're down here. We just finished off this here. We come back, it'll be all yellow underneath that one, so that one will be done. This one is not too much further, so I guess it does have more of a quick curve. But Thursday, we will be back on Thursday, and hopefully we'll get a good chunk done by then. We're hoping anyway. Alright, I think everything's working again. Can't see if I missed any comments though yet. But again, I do want to thank everybody that joined us today. We're going to stop a few minutes early because by the time I got it turned around, it's ring counts. Then did my normal and spiel anyway, we would be getting no more done. So this way I can leave it. We can show the picture, see where we're at. We're just about there, just about there. So that was the finish of line 102. So 103 is next. So 13 more lines and we'll be done. So like I said, we'll be done by this weekend. Next Tuesday we'll be back doing some normaler stuff, at least getting into something else anyway. But I do thank anybody that's joined us and watched all this as we've been doing this. Where's the doohickey? Doohickey, where you at? There it is. And then it disappeared. Go back here. Getting reverb there. Okay, anyway, kind of dragging this out. But I do want to thank everybody again for dropping in, joining us. Even if you don't post and say anything, I'm glad you dropped by. Give us a thumbs up, like, shares, all that good stuff. Get it out there, let people know that we're out here doing something every week. We're out here trying to do something, let you know we're active. We're not just kind of sitting around doing nothing. So I do thank everybody again. Don't forget to find us on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. Give those thumbs ups, and like I said, let's say Tuesday today, so we'll be back Thursday. We'll hopefully have more of this done, and hopefully wrap it up by the weekend. Might have a little stream this weekend to do a final wrap-up. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyway, I do thank y'all again. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we'll check you out on Thursday. Peace.
There's a beautiful day.